Hey everyone, so it is June 13. Let me just check whether it is being streamed live or not. Yes, it says it is an excellent connection. Okay, so right now I'm just working on making the, what do I say, the UI or UX of the application. So I'm just getting it from the ground up, and yes, I'm showing off that I got a diary from TEDx DAPV. I even sang a song there on the stage. Anyway, so this UX thing, let me just show you the thinking process. So I want to build a time tracker, time come activity tracker, as we discussed in the last video that we live in a time space continuum. So I am trying to build an application that can allow you to track your investment of time and space. So in terms of time, however, whatever time you allot to which activity, and in that time what are you doing, we just want to track it. Now the first aim is to just track it and then analyze after you have tracked it for a while. So I was just talking to, no, not this. I was just talking to Gemini, and I asked it that yes, I want to build a time and task tracker. In the main page home screen, I want to give the ability to add a log of any activity for the time that you have invested in it. But there's one thing, almost all the applications that we use, in that the time flows from top to bottom, be it Google Calendar or be it any other calendar application, any other time based application, the time flows from top to bottom. But here's the catch, I have tried tracking my time in Excel sheets, Google Sheets, and if I follow the same mental model from like following the time from top to bottom, then to add a new activity I have to go to the bottom and add a new activity. Now, as I am building this as a time tracker, and the purpose of it is that it makes time tracking so easy that you can actually track your time and then get control over it. But in this, if you are like, every single second, microsecond matters, because if the process of tracking itself is difficult, itself is time consuming, then nobody's gonna want to do that, because I have faced it myself. I've spent several minutes in just jotting down the activities that I have been doing. So if the time tracker itself is taking too much of time, then there's no point of building it. So it should not beat its own purpose, and hence the time tracking should be efficient. So I gave the exact same prompt to Gemini. So Gemini says, of course, as a UI UX design expert and product designer, I asked it to be a UI UX designer and product designer. I'd be happy to help you think through this. This is an excellent and fundamental question that gets to the heart of user-centric design. First, let me commend you on your core objective for the Lohnour app. Your goal to make time tracking of the user so easy that they can take control of their time, not spend time in tracking itself, is the perfect guiding principle for this product. Every design should be weighed against this goal. Now, to your direct question, can you keep time flowing from bottom to top? Yeah, so why did I want to make the time flowing from bottom to top? So that every time you open app, you just can click on the plus button and add an activity. You don't have to scroll down to the bottom, or even if you want to, then as I explained my experience while adding activities in Excel sheets, I had to scroll down to the empty row at the bottom. But it should not be like that, because this scrolling down in itself will take around a second or two, at least a second, and that doesn't align with the purpose of this tracker. So can you keep time flowing from the bottom to top? The short answer is yes, you can. There is no absolute law of design that forbids this. The more important and nuanced answer requires us to analyze the trade-offs you would be making. Let's break it down from UI UX perspective. The conventional approach, top to bottom time flow, the reason Google Calendar, Outlook, and virtually all timeline based applications flow from top to bottom is because they are built on deeply ingrained mental models. Reading direction. In most of the world, we read from top to bottom. We mentally associate top with the beginning and bottom with the end. Your day starts in the morning, top of the calendar, and ends at night, bottom. The metaphor of gravity. We perceive time as moving forward and things filling up. Think of a glass being filled with water. It fills from the bottom up. The timeline of filling it goes from start, top, to finish, bottom. A list of events is like a story. We start at the beginning, at the top of the page. This didn't make any sense to me. Let me read it again. This is an important, significant point. Forcing them to read upwards to understand their day's chronology would create significant cognitive load. Violating such a strong convention means you are asking your users to learn a new way of thinking about time on screen. This adds friction, which runs counter to your primary goal of making tracking effortless. Your proposed approach, bottom to top time flow. Let's analyze your idea. The problem you have identified is 100% valid. Having to scroll to the bottom of a list adds a new entry. To add a new entry is annoying and repetitive friction point. We experience with Google Sheets is perfect example of a tool not being optimized for the task. You are right to want to eliminate this extra second. The pro of your solution, immediate access for new entries. The input field and the most recent entry are always at the top of the viewport, requiring zero scrolling to add or see the very last thing you did. The cons of your solution, high cognitive load. Users would constantly have to fight their instinct to read the timeline from top to bottom. So no, this is not making sense. I cannot make the timeline to go from bottom to top, because it's totally against our deeply ingrained mental models. This could make up the app feel weird or broken, even if it's a deliberate design choice. Right. Poor reviewability. As mentioned, scanning the day's activities becomes unnatural. Imagine trying to grasp your morning schedule by finding the bottom of the screen and then reading up. Scalability. How would a week view work, or a month view? A calendar that builds upwards would be exceptionally confusing. This could severely limit the future capabilities of your app. The verdict, risky trade-off. You are proposing to optimize the experience of adding an entry at the expense of reviewing all the entries. While your focus on efficient entry is admirable, a successful time tracking app must excel at both. If you're reviewing your time is difficult, the data becomes less useful, defeating the purpose of tracking it in the first place. Alternative solutions achieve your goal without breaking convention. As a product designer, my recommendation would be to stick with the conventional top to bottom timeline, but solve the fast entry problem in a different way, more user friendly way. Here are several standard high effective design patterns to solve your exact problem. The floating action, yes, this is exactly what I have thought of so far. The floating action button. This is a classic solution popularized by Google's Material Design. How it works: a simple plus button floats in a consistent location, usually the bottom right corner above all other content. Why it works: it is always accessible no matter where the user has scrolled in their timeline. One tap and they are in the add task flow. It decouples the action of adding from the timeline's scroll position. The persistent input bar. How it works: have a dedicated bar at the top or bottom of the screen that is always visible. It could say, what are you working on now, with a start button. Why it works? This is arguably the fastest method. The user just types and hits a button. The app then adds the new task to the correct place in the top to bottom timeline. Apps like Toggle and Clockify use variations of this to great effect. So okay, I'll go and analyze these apps, Toggle and Clockify. Toggle. Of course, I should have done this earlier, and I have actually researched through some already existing applications for task tracking, but yeah, not very thoroughly. So let's just sign up. I just installed Toggle Track. Let's sign up with Google. So basically these are all my competitors. I'm not sure whether I should directly be naming them in my live stream or not, but anyway. Okay, so as a user who has just installed this app, it looks to me too complicated, too clumsy, like too many things are there. So as a builder, I have to focus on making the application as simple as possible, as minimal as possible. So the app is really good, but yeah, the Toggle, if you are watching this live stream, uh, as a first as a first time user, this is my experience. Now of course I think it will take me some getting used to it, so let me explore it. You can add your favorites. There's a calendar view. It's very similar to Google Calendar. Okay, so toggle was one application. I will do a thorough review research, of course, but I don't want to depend too much on this, because I, as a person who struggles to manage his own time, want to build a solution to myself. That's what writers of rework book say, that you solve your own problems. So I don't want a too heavy application that confuses me what to do. So I am the first user of my application, and I want to make it easy, not too complicated, and to get the work done. Let's take the another one. Where was the other application? Okay, Clockify. Clockify. So one thing that is absolute necessity is authorization with Google. Okay, so 2 steps to sign up. There's a, what do you say this, first time user guide or walkthrough. How large is your company? I'm self-employed. Why is this necessary? Is it targeted towards corporate people? I guess. How many people will you be working with you? Maybe 2 to 5 or only me. Okay, let's see. The industry or company operates in, I don't know. There's others. I'll just say information and technology and services. So this is pretty clean user interface. There's only one screen in front. Okay, yeah, there's only one screen, and there's a floating button, and there's a hamburger menu on the left. There's this time tracker thing, no time entries yet. If I click, there are 2 options, manual and timer. So if I click on timer, what are you working on? It has already started. UX of the Lohnour app. I can add the description, project. I can select a project. Okay, I can select a task. Project name, the Lohnour Project. Client none, billable not, public not. Okay, public. Let's make this public. Save. Task. Design. Okay, so it's been over a minute. I'm gonna stop this here. I worked for 1 minute and 17 seconds on the Lohnour project UI design. Project is the Lohnour project. Task is UI design. Okay, and description is the UX of the Lohnour app. I can continue this. Okay, it starts again from 0, and if I stop this, then it's a new entry. Okay, lovely. So this week I've only worked for 1 minute and 20. So okay, this app is majorly created for corporate environment or your work environment where you can track your work. It is, the UI is pretty good actually, but what I'm trying to build is primarily focused. It's not even primarily focused. Of course I want it to be used by the corporate people, but it's not again for just corporate usage. The aim of the app is to encourage people to live a balanced life. Okay, a jump now button. How it works: a timeline can be long but simple. Now or today button can instantly scroll the view to the current time. Google Calendar has this. Why it works: when the user opens the app, they can tap now and screen will center on the current time. Understood? So okay, so I'm not okay. Okay, understood. So I am not going to use bottom to top timeline approach. features. But right now for the MVP is not going to be targeted towards offices or corporate people. Also, aim of this app is to help people build a routine, but in a flexible time framework. So I don't want to explain it much right now. It will be much easier when I will be able to convert the idea into design so that people can understand it. But yes, I want people to be able to develop discipline through this app, follow a timetable, and even if they are strictly not able to follow the timetable, at least they do the activities they have decided on some other time. The balance is necessary. So when the user opens the app, they should have the idea what they are supposed to be doing right now. So first thing here, Sunday. Time, let's say 2:40 p.m. You can change the view of the time, the format of the time. You can make it to either 12-hour or whatever kind of time format you prefer. PM. Huh? Just a minute. How does the Google Calendar look? This is going to be my first reference point to build the app that I am trying to. When you click on, so see, when I click on the app, it doesn't, the what I forgot what the welcome screen is called. There is a term for that screen in app development. When I used to develop Android apps, I knew that. But some, yeah, so there is a small, see, if I open Instagram, so see this time, a few 1 or 2 seconds in which the Instagram logo was visible. I don't want that screen because again it's time taking, and if I'm gonna track my time maybe 50 times in a day, I don't want 50 into 2 seconds, that are 100 seconds added to every user's every single day just doing nothing. So I like this when you just click on it. If I go on click Google Calendar, I guess then the screen is gonna be there. Oh, it's not. Let me close the application and then let me see. Yes, it is there, but it's only for a second. Okay, that's doable, but I don't want it for 2-3 seconds. Right. So I only want for a second or so, and then this is the view. This is the kind of view I want. Okay, and I can always enlarge it. This is also the functionality that I want to include in my application. I can always enlarge the view and shrink the view. Oh, cool. I did not know this. How do we come back? So Google just won. I. Oh my god. How do I? Week. Okay, okay, okay. So we can toggle the views from here. Got it. So the home screen needs to be the day view, day of Google Calendar, like Google Calendar. And it's not supposed to be a substitute of calendar applications. Rather, I don't know what it's gonna be, but anyway, Google, please don't kill my product before it's taken birth. And the reason I'm following these standard applications is because these guys already have spent millions of dollars in the product design. They have expert psychologists and product designers working in their team, so they know exactly what they are building. So I don't have that sort of money, that sort of team, that sort of time, so I'm just gonna follow the standards followed by these companies and then make tweaks that I as a user want. Right. I think I should do this on Figma with Shade CDN kit, because this is gonna take much more time. So if I want something, I just want to jot down my idea, I may take this approach. But because we have very less time, I'm just gonna try to be efficient with Shade CDN and see how it goes. So I'm gonna go have my lunch now and then start another stream. Okay, so that's all for this video. I will see you in the next stream, and probably after today I will not stream because I have to study for my exams. So bye bye.